Okay, today we want to take a look at Joe here on the left. He's an 11-year-old from Australia. He's been throwing about 2 years. He said he's been self-taught, just watching videos on YouTube. So he started following me and asked for some tips on a video he had posted a few weeks back. So I found this latest video he had. I wanted to just go over it. I'm going to compare it with Valerie Allman over here on the right. I really like how he just puts everything into this finish. As an 11-year-old that throwing a 1K discus here. That's really impressive. All right, let's break it down here. Okay, you can see here you're carrying the discus high. As long as it comes down low, we'll be okay. But you see how Valerie Allman carries hers low at the start back here in the windup. Another thing is your right foot. You could see a little bit hard here in the grass, but some of your other throws, I've noticed you're doing it pretty consistent, where you would roll to the outside of the foot. See, that foot should stay flat. See, like Valerie Allman's here on the right foot. Try to keep that flat and don't let it roll up to the outside edge. You're doing that trying to get more twist back here, more separation, but it's not true separation because you're letting your hip and you go back with that foot. You want to keep your hip locked in and that foot locked down. Okay? All right, so here, both legs should be fully extended. You're leaning forward here a little bit more than Valerie Allman is. She's a little more vertical. Some of these, I'm just making comments as we go through here in comparison. A lot of it's just style. It may not matter. What matters is some of the positions you hit later on. Okay. Right here, it looks like I'm trying to watch your left foot. I mean, you keep it really low to the ground, the heel. Let's take a look at Valerie Allman's as it comes around. You can see, I can see some daylight here with hers because she's turning down the ball of her foot. And it almost looks like yours slides out to the left a little bit too. So normally I would just tell people to keep the weight on the ball of the foot up here and turn that, the hip, the knee, the foot all together with that left arm as it comes around. See how Valerie Allman uses that left arm, the whole left leg, the hip, the knee, the foot, everything turns together. Kind of like opening a door. The other thing I saw that was different here, this is something Valerie Allman does, and a lot of male throwers don't do this. They have the knee on top of the foot like you do, but for Valerie Allman, you might want to try this. See how she has her knee out over the toe? This, I think this will make this left knee bend and turn a lot faster. Just something to look at that's different. You see how you're leaning over, trying to get your armpit here over the foot, which is good. And but Valerie Allman, you see, she's getting that by the armpit over the foot, but she's also a lot more vertical. She's not having to shift over quite as much. All right, so let's keep going. Now you have the discus low, so that's good. You want it low back here, coming out of the back. If you want to get a little more whip for this right leg, what Valerie Allman does, you see you've got your knee ahead of the hip a little bit here. As we come around here, you see how she keeps this knee way back behind the hip so she can kick the knee and the foot forward for more speed. You stop the left foot down pretty much the right sector line. Hers is stopped right there. Let's see if that continues. You see her left foot's going to continue rotating down to the center line right here. Okay? To center throwing circle. You've still got yours going stopped here down the right sector line, and that's fine. That's a lot of people do that. But one thing I do know, when people do that, they tend to go upward here. See how your left arm, your shoulders, your body's coming upward rather than driving forward. One thing to notice is you can see how Valerie Almond's the left shoulder starting to come downward, but when you throw that left arm up, that left shoulder comes up too. Okay, and you're turning your head a little prematurely here. You'll notice that later on it'll be more obvious. Okay. Keep your head in line with the shoulders. Keep driving forward, keeping your eyes looking down the throwing direction a little bit more. And this left shoulder should be starting to come down. The left arm should be coming down. Left elbow. Okay, you're pushed off here. You can see Valerie Almond, when she pushes off, her knee and her foot are aimed down the center of the throwing sector. Yours are aimed over here toward the left sector line, and you're going to see how that makes you land on the far side of the circle, on the left side. Yeah, you see how your foot, these last two frames right here, just before it comes down, it continues to go forward, and you'll see in Valerie Almond here, it just comes straight down. See that? Just drops straight down. The bent knee, the hips on top of the foot. Yours is too. But you see how far your head, your eyes already turned over here? Okay. And the discus is already up at the high point. At 6 o'clock here. You might. I see Electa does this with the left leg, but I think you might get it down faster if you keep it horizontal, like you see Valerie Almond do here. Your knees are nice and close. I like that. Let's see how you turn on that right foot. Okay. All right, so your left elbow is already at 12 o'clock. You can see how Valerie Almond is still facing this way, maybe about 2 o'clock. Okay, and you've already got the discus up at 6. She's got the discus out here about, let's see, 6, 7, probably about 7 o'clock. So she's keeping better separation between your hips and her shoulders. You've almost lost all of your separation between your hips and your shoulders. You have a little bit, but we want to try to get you even more. That's where you really make a big difference on the in the throws. All right, you start to see your opening up, your upper body's catching up to your hips. And you can see how Valerie Almond now has her left elbow toward 12 o'clock. Discus is still not to 6 o'clock yet, and her hips are facing over here at 3. So she's got, she's working on getting that separation. She'll hold it with that left arm. Okay, right here. Right here, the hips are facing 12. This is the important point. When the hips are at 12, this right foot should be pointing at 12. This left elbow should be at 12. This discus should be up high and at 6. Chest should be facing over here at 3. And you can see where you're at. Oh, another thing is you don't want to have too much lean here on this leg. You want to have that knee pretty much on top of the foot so you can turn fast. You can see how your shin's kind of angled out. Okay, your hips out here. So you got quite a bit of lean there. Okay, just makes a slower turn. Okay, so this left elbow should be facing right here at 12 o'clock, the back of the circle. Your foot is almost right there. Your hips are facing 12. So you can see how much you've opened up. If you can get your chest out here to 3, and that discus will move back up here to 6, and have your eyes at 12. Okay? All right, let's keep going. All right, we're rotating. So right here, the discus is at 3. Let's get Valerie Almond in that same position. Yeah, right about here. Okay. Her left foot is already down. The foot's down, the toe, the heel. Yours is still up in the air. So you got to get that left foot down sooner. And that may be because, like we were saying back here, you got it so high up in the air. If you keep it low, like you see with Valerie Almond here, it will drop down quicker to the ground right there in front. Okay, so you got to get that left foot down faster, because the longer you wait, the more you're going to lose your separation. See right here, your separation is not too bad. The hips look like they're facing out here at 9. Your chest is facing 12. So even though you opened up early, what we saw earlier, And that what I call the 12 o'clock position right now doesn't look too bad. So let's continue on. But you'll see right here, the left foot's, see how your left foot's now facing this way? You've let it over rotate. You're going to see this knee come out and face that way too. Right now it's facing correctly, like Valerie Allman's this way, toward about 7. But watch what happens. See how you rotated it out? And your foot is facing out this way, okay? Keep your foot facing out here about 6:30, 7 o'clock in your knee, okay? Don't let it over rotate like that. So face it out that way. It's got to be solid. That's kind of why the discus, I think, is flying off to the right on some of your throws. And we talked about this before, about trying to get that block down sooner and getting the extension done sooner. Okay, but this is real critical. You want to make sure that foot lands. You're almost in a squat when you land. Is what you want right here, like Valerie Allman. Foot's out this way at 7. This foot's up here about 11. Okay, your knees are out right over the toes. So she's basically in a squat position. Okay, and then the rest this looks okay. Yeah, your left heel never quite comes down. The discus is pretty far back behind you. It should start becoming in line with your shoulders here. You'll notice when you release, it's going to be still behind you. Okay. You're trying to push that right hip through. You get this starting to get this bend on your side. Oh, there's another point I wanted to make earlier too. You start to get this arch right here. See this arch in your back? You want to be almost have a straight back here between your neck and your spine. Okay. You don't want to be curved here. All right. Then you have another arch here. You kind of pull into the left. You can see how Valerie Allman stays pretty much vertical, and that left leg stays firm, and then everything on the right rotates around it. Doing this, you shorten up your radius here. Okay. If you keep yourself vertical, that discus will be out here further. Okay, and you can see how the block leg is totally facing the wrong direction here. Okay, you want that knee and that foot facing the throwing direction to about 7 o'clock. Okay, this is what I was trying to say here about the discus and your arm being too far behind your back. It should already be probably at this point a little bit ahead of you. Okay. See with Valerie Allman here. It's a little blurry because she's moving so fast, but everything's in the line. Both shoulders and the discus all in the line. If I put that right in your shoulders there. Yeah, you have the discus behind you. I think you'll see it in the next frame. Nope, here it came up. It looks good. Here you're in line. The arms, the shoulders, that looks good. It's just in the previous, I think your shoulder moves ahead of the arm. So then I think you release and then the arm accelerates and it catches up. At this point, the arm should be ahead of you actually when you throw it. A little bit ahead of the right shoulder. Okay. Discus flight on a lot of your throws looks a little wobbly. So keep an eye on that. You want to practice some of your discus throws, the right edge is really low, and then there's a lot of wobble in the flight. So you want to try to get that discus to spin as fast as you can, but also you can see the wobbling here as I scroll forward and back. See it's going left and right. Okay, and that just takes practice. And I think you'll fix that once you're a little more vertical here and take care of that block leg. Make sure it's stays firm. faces out toward the throwing sector, not to the left. You'll be able to release, I think, the Discus a lot with a lot smoother flight. Okay, that's all I had. If you have any questions, let me know. Please like and subscribe if you learned anything from this video, and I'll attach some links here so you can get a hold of Joe's other videos in his YouTube site. Thanks.